I think everyone's caught up in short form, is that it is so easy and casual to pick up and do. Use their phone, create media, and people are going to disappear from your video within seconds. There is a massive lack when it comes to more structured and fulfilled content. High-end quality media speaks louder.
What kind of pressures affected you the most?
There has been many times where you feel the pressure is so high. All the clients are going to be let down. Everything's going to stop. Lose everything. The business is going to shut down. That doesn't happen. Like, I've been my own boss, entrepreneur for the last 10 years. I work pretty much 7 days a week at times of 14-hour days. Entrepreneurship taught me to be a leader. My mindset is always about learning what sort of thing can I take in that's going to help me perform better. The way people work is very different. A lot of the time you'll see clients get something amazing and then they don't even know how to use it. I want to provide more to the client so they can brand themselves better. Having something like this is a very useful tool. It doesn't matter how introverted you are. If you're unknown, people obviously can't do business with you.
What's 3 things you want people to remember from this conversation? Hello, and welcome to 101 Podcast, a show where we sit down with founders to unpack the real story behind their journey. In today's episode, I'm talking with Philip, who is the founder of Studio 101. Let's talk about his journey of building a studio business and advice for people who want to start their own. Can you introduce yourself and tell us about what you're doing now?
Okay, so my name is Philip. I'm from Australia, Melbourne, and I've set up here Studio 101 in Vietnam. Through my journey is discovering that to better serve customers, having something like this is a very useful tool and experience with the client to get their content done easier, faster, and better. So this is where we are.
So how did your journey go from working in real estate media into building your own business studio focused on content creating?
Yeah, so starting back all the way in 2015, we got into the niche of real estate based on actually my father selling some houses and saw they were getting media done, photography and videography. From then, we tested on some properties my dad had. Our uncle was an agent, or still is a real estate agent as well, and got us our first few jobs. And we just slowly grew from there. And back then, I didn't understand too much around the value of what video and media and marketing can bring. So just through the development for clients across the years in the real estate niche, led me to see much more valuable outcomes through video, which led to understanding that if you do more content for your brand, you're going to get better results. High-end quality media speaks louder. And it eventually just turned and pivoted all the way here to having a content studio and being a service and growing a team here in Vietnam. I'm now back and forth doing content here, supporting people in Melbourne still in the real estate space. But really now as the full content service, I just understand the value behind that for businesses, including real estate agencies and agents, individuals. Content is where it's at to get known today. So that's it. Yeah.
So when exactly did you realize that doing the real estate media work alone was no longer enough for you?
I wouldn't directly say it wasn't enough for me, but I'll say it wasn't enough for my clients. Value is brought to a property by providing great quality media, including videos that really can capture the emotional side of a house and the emotional side of the buyer getting interested in that house. So the shift out of real estate media is just in the perspective that I want to provide more to the client. And that comes with providing content and social media work for the client so they can brand themselves better.
Nice to hear that. So at that point, were you looking to build something exciting for yourself, or did you start noticing a growing demand of content creation in the market? especially in Vietnam?
So across my history, I was always asked, hey, can you help us with our social media and our video content and things like that? So then just looking at the global scale of things, it is the way people are known today. Content is one of the first reasons why a customer knows you. And that stretches here in Vietnam as well. That if you're unknown, people obviously can't do business with you. So that's what we're here to provide. Yeah.
Fast forward to Vietnam to do the studio work here. What was the hardest thing during the early stage of the studio that you find you cannot forget about it?
I guess one of the hardest parts setting up the studio here in Vietnam comes from my understanding of the way people work is very different. So getting used to the way trades come in and out, painters, the floor, and everything in between. And I'd say that was the biggest challenge because I don't speak Vietnamese and I don't understand that kind of work ethic culture on that side. Luckily for us, we're still very kind of expat focused, foreigner focused. We have a mixture of people coming, here in Vietnam that aren't Vietnamese and have a kind of Western-ish perspective,
Yeah.
But for the locals as well, we're here as well. And that's fun too. Overall, everything has been a little bit of a test here, change and get it right again. I think that's just part of doing something a little bit different compared to where I was doing things before. That in itself, say is a challenge, but has been so rewarding, it's been good.
What kind of pressures affected you the most? At that time, for example, like clients, anything in finances, or self-doubt, other than understanding Vietnamese and getting to used to everyone's work culture?
Yeah, so one of the biggest pressure points from this setup in Vietnam, it was because I still had a lot of work happening in Australia, in Melbourne.
Yes.
And then I was back and forth quite a bit, and I still am today, and I always intend to be. So me being here physically definitely helps speed things up. So it was just a bit of lack of time as I was juggling through things. So I would say that if I could do it better, I would try to have full focus here and develop, a stretch of a few months. But as I like to look after my clients. Hence, I was back and forth quite a bit, which slowed down the kind of process of getting up and going here at Studio 101.
Yes.
Just juggling, planes back and forth to Australia and Vietnam and everything in between that. Yeah.
Yep. So when was the moment you wanted to quit everything and just take a break, have a time for yourself?
I would say never. But because I've been doing business, like I've been my own boss, entrepreneur for the last 10 years, there has been many times where you feel the pressure is so high. And then one thing I've learned across kind of the early stages of that pressure being so high is that you need to learn to switch off. So purposely before you break, you take a day off yourself. It's not like you're going to give up or be broken. And I've told this to people as well, is like, just turn your phone off for the day and the world is going to survive. I've had times where I've just thought, all the clients are going to be let down, everything's going to stop, lose everything, the business is going to shut down. That doesn't happen. So you need to understand work-life balance to a degree. Like I work pretty much 7 days a week at times of 14-hour days. But when I need a break, I'm going to stop and rejuvenate my energy, which is super important. And just to say, if you really want to knuckle down what that would be, would probably be pickleball at the moment. So, yeah.
Healthy life, right?
Yeah, trying to stay fit and healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear that. Let's talk about your motivational. What helped you keep going when things were not working out for you?
The biggest support for me through everything when it comes to, setting up here in the studio, at home, Melbourne when I'm working there, in life in general, I'd say has always been family. And I think for everyone it should be that. it depends on what you call your family. It might be a good, close few friends at times, though that is who always carries you through. You know, we are social beings. It doesn't matter how introverted you are. You kind of still need the people around you. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
So that has been a big support for me through the years, whether it's been mum and dad at times, or it's been my girlfriend, or it's been the friends around me. People are there for each other. So that's the biggest support.
You mentioned about your almost 11 years of doing self-entrepreneur. So what has entrepreneurship taught you about yourself for the last decade?
I'd say entrepreneurship taught me to be a leader. And it's funny enough, back in 2016, so like probably not even a year of doing business, my brother was encouraging me to do content, funny enough. And I went back to, at a time, our back cottage, and I had like walls painted blue, like a blue screen, like green screen, blue screen. But I went back there and shot a content piece, and I called it Be Your Own Boss. And I couldn't verbally say it better now of what that video meant.
Yeah.
But be your own boss is like, be the leader for yourself in your life. Then you are becoming the leader for the people around you, you know, and that's the way you have hold of even your mental health and everything of that nature. Once you take lead in your life and lead for the, you know, the ones you want to support, that's when success and fulfillment and enjoyment really thrives. So yeah, be a leader.
Moving on, let's talk about our project, our services, and your future vision. What kind of a studio you want to build in the next few years?
So here's Studio 101, I'd say, is our first steps at the studio game. I really had a passion of helping other creators come, of doing events, the nature of that part, and even the studio being a membership service for other photographers, other content creators, is really more of what we want the studio to be for the community, for the people around it. So it lies within being a great service for our clients, but second, and also super important, is being a help for other content creators and people to grow alongside, because I'm more passionate in that side of seeing people grow. So
yeah. Why are you interested in expanding into the content creation and social media strategy instead of only production pipeline?
A lot of the time you'll see clients get something amazing and then they don't even know how to use it.
Yep.
So it just evolved into us wanting to do more for the client and do things in a better way. It is getting the result down the line for our client. That's the ultimate goal.
Yes.
So with every package we make, every service delivery has that in mind. It just depends on where you are in your journey as a client or what you're trying to achieve. So really aiming to get the best result at the end and producing a full service, as in you should be getting clients with what we do instead of it just being, here's a video. You know what I mean?
Some people say a production studio need to become a marketing company that must include everything in between. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel that's the direction I want to lean down because I feel it better serves the client, but at a cost, it actually is less streamlined for us as a company. I see the way the world's shifting and it's easier to bridge those things together. So yeah, I'd say every company, they say, should be a media company as well and focus like 50% of their attention on being a media production house. But where's the time in that? So that's why we want to attach to businesses in the full scheme of helping their marketing, producing their video content, imagery, social media management. I believe that's a much more greater outcome for the client.
Yes. Let's move on to your perspective on the studio industry. Yeah, especially here in Vietnam. When new businesses or content creators start creating content, what problems do you see them struggling the most?
I'd be honest, I'm amazed at the interest in making content here in Vietnam compared to other countries, though I feel there is a massive lack when it comes to more structured and fulfilled content, especially in the kind of professional space, you call it, for companies, service providers, consultants in this field. And especially I see a big gap or missing podcasting and long form content. I think everyone's caught up in short form, and long form provides so much more to your client compared to a 15-second clip,
Yes.
Totally. So that's a missing part of the kind of media space here in Vietnam, I feel. A lot of people might get a CTV, as they call it, a commercial, which is really just like a corporate video or something of that nature, which is powerful, but most of the time it's not utilized really well. It's just maybe put up on a website or even put up like on a restaurant TV and then it gets played on loop. I've seen that many times. So that side's really underutilized in providing really good value through content in a long form basis. Yeah.
Some people may think that a studio aren't needed anymore because everyone can create content by themselves using portable devices. Yep. House studio setup. Do you agree with that?
I would not agree with that. I would say that people definitely can shoot themselves, use their phone, create media, create awesome value, actually get viral online.
Yes.
You don't need these things like professional lighting and really expensive cameras. Though a lot of the time when people try to use these things, they don't even know how to. And there is a massive degree and learning curve towards getting it right. Professionalism is seen through the quality of your video. So this sort of thing can be done in a home studio, and it takes a really long time to get it right.
Yeah.
And hence why a studio like this, it means that you can come in, get everything done, and not really need to think anymore with every other moving part towards lighting, camera setup, audio, the scripting, even how much we can provide here is such a big support, and it takes a lot of time and effort if you were to do it yourself.
What should beginners focus on when they want to build a space for content production at home?
On a basic side of things, the most important part is lighting. Cameras and the camera sensor, which captures the video, is like our eyes. And how our eyes work, the camera sensors work, is it draws in light. That's what makes an image. So understanding that light is the most important part. And then on the opposite side of that is like if you're just using, poor lighting of your house, that's going to make it really bad. So finding the good light source, making sure that light source is in front of you and the camera's like between you and that light source, that's going to help dramatically. If you sign up to a package here at Studio 101, you're going to get everything done for you. And basically it's a walk in and out service. So it doesn't take your time. Plus, it's like if you were to join a gym, you're going to be accountable. You've signed up. You need to use that membership and you're going to get the content done right.
What's your perspective on moving away from fast consumption content and doing more long form content?
One of the biggest rises of short form content and fast consumption content is that it is so easy and casual to pick up and do and be entertained and to get snippets of value even.
Yeah.
Though it doesn't build enough proof behind brands. I've heard this analytical information, I think it was from HCMC, which went to say People build trust with you in watching 2 hours of your content. Okay. So if you divide that by 15-second short form, fast consumption pieces of content, it's going to take you a year if you're posting every day.
Yes.
Something like that. I'm doing a quick, not even doing maths in my head, but it's a really long time, you know. But if you were to do long form, like 30-minute YouTube videos, 4 episodes, they've built trust.
Yes.
You've got them over the line to use you, you know, and that's a massive difference. I'm a massive user of YouTube. I prefer watching long form content. My mindset is always about learning what sort of thing can I take in that's going to help me perform better and help the people around me. That's really important.
Yes.
And most of the time, short form doesn't let me discover that. It's more like an entertainment base. I'm not saying it isn't always, but I'll say a lot of the time it's a quick idea that I might save and I might share it with the team. I might, you know, take it in. But it's not something that I would ever usually go and download or start using someone as a service. It's definitely really far from that. Short form is just snippets and people are going to disappear from your video within seconds. If you have something valuable to talk about and your brand can capture something of worth, that's the way you can build trust and build that image of your brand much more effectively, because now they can understand your voice. They're not just hearing you for a few short seconds. It's about really growing your brand.
Thank you for sharing. To close this episode, what's 3 things you want people to remember from this conversation?
I'd say the 3 biggest things from this conversation that I'd really want to leave people with. One is, be a leader in some way for yourself. At least that. And then that will extend to everyone around you. If you're thinking and considering making content, really consider long form rather than short form. And have a go and don't give up. I said before, your path will open up. You'll find a way through.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and your perspective with us today.
And beyond that, if you're looking for a space to bring your ideas to life, build your brand and create something of your own, Studio 101 is here to grow alongside you. Follow the links below to learn more about Studio 101.